Hello and welcome to the podcast series CAREWELL Conversations, raising awareness about the issues and challenges facing family carers who combine work and care by engaging with employers, HR professionals, employee representative organisations, family carers and the research community. My name is Brian Doyle. I'm the podcast series producer and a researcher with the CAREWELL project, a collaboration between University College Dublin and Family Carers Ireland, funded by the Health Research Board. The overall aim of the CAREWELL Research Project is to promote health and self-care among working family carers. And over the course of this podcast series, we will have conversations with those who have a role to play in supporting working family carers and begin to tease out the challenges and issues facing them and their employers. Welcome to this episode of CAREWELL Conversations. I'm delighted to say I'm joined today by Jenny Farrell, who is the Programme Manager for the Working Care Out programme here in Family Carers Ireland. She's going to talk to us today a little bit about the programme itself. And we're also joined by Tracey Pearson, who is a family carer who has actually been through the programme. So she's going to give us a bit of insight into what was involved in working through the programme and maybe a little bit about herself and her caring role. So welcome Jenny and welcome Tracey. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I might start with yourself, Jenny, just in terms of working with Family Carers Ireland. I know you've been involved with Family Carers Ireland for a little while now. That this isn't your first involvement, so maybe you might just give us a little bit about your background and your roles, your various roles within Family Carers Ireland to date.
Yeah, no problem at all, Brian. Look, I've been around quite a while at this stage, almost 20 years. I managed the Waterford Centre for 19 years. And in that role, I suppose, I met many carers along the way, helped them with rights and entitlements, managed respite services, coordinated, facilitated support groups, fundraising events, all of the above. Really enjoyed the role. Up until COVID, and coming out of COVID, then I decided it was time for a break, really. So I took some time out. And luckily then last year, towards September there, I saw this new role advertised for the Working Care Out project, something I was interested in. Decided to give it a go, and sure, here I am. We thought now it would end the end of December, but luckily enough, we were awarded funding for a further 18 months. So I'm still here and we're going to continue with it for the 18 months.
Thanks, Jenny. And you mentioned the funding there. I know it's the dormant account funding.
It's dormant account funding.
They've been very good.
Would you like me to give you a little rundown on the programme and what's involved?
Yes, that would be perfect.
Yeah, no problem at all. So the Working Care Out project is there to support family carers in their caring role. Some of them might like to go back to work, train. A lot of the carers involved, I will say, in the programme are former carers that their caring role has ended and now they're at a loss what to do next with themselves. So we're there to support them. We can offer one-on-one virtual clinics with a career specialist who'll talk them through their options, give them advice, help them to update a CV. And following on from that, then we have our skills development group programme, usually runs for about 4 weeks. And the skills development programme is a different module every week. We can update their interview skills, show them how to fill out online applications, again, updating their CV, helping them, I suppose, really to recognise their own skills and how they can be transferred over then when looking for work. So all of the above. We also look into grants that may be available and assist people with grant applications. We do follow up. We do a STAR when we first meet, a wellbeing assessment tool that we use in Family Carers Ireland. And a couple of weeks down the road, then we go back and we do a second STAR, just to measure, I suppose, the progress on the project. The project has a little bit extra in it this year, in so much that we've got a little bit of additional funding. We're now able to access 10 laptops to give out to carers who wouldn't usually have access to a laptop, so we can loan them out. And we're going to provide 3 modules on the QQI Level 5 healthcare course. So that's a little bit different than last year. We didn't have those options.
So that was very interesting there. Great breakdown of the program itself and huge support for family carers and very relevant support. Very interested to hear about the addition of the laptops. I think that we all tend to assume after we've been through COVID that everybody is tech savvy and well able to go into
Yes,
Zoom and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And it's people might not have had the time to engage with those technologies. So that's very interesting and very worthwhile. Yeah.
That need was clearly identified on the last project. People would have loved to join the program, but unfortunately didn't have access to internet or laptops.
Yeah.
So that's how we applied this year for the additional funding to cover that. But looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll meet some new carers along the way.
So you're enjoying the work anyway.
I'm really enjoying it.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
And sorry, in terms of numbers, Jenny, how many people are involved with the project at any one time, or how many people have gone through the project?
Yes. So last year we managed to cover 150 carers in total. 28 of those progressed into employment. 37 of those were supported to continue formal education. That included level 7, level 6, and level 5 courses. 85 people out of the 150 reported reduced loneliness and social isolation, which was huge. 88 engaged in our employment skills training. That's the group development course. And this included the one-to-one virtual clinic where they got to speak with the career specialist. I suppose all the participants on the course reported increased confidence, and 32 family carers then availed of our counselling services in that period of time.
It's very, very good. And it shows that there's great engagement with all the range of services. It's not just about, getting back into employment or, return to employment or education. There is, and that social exclusion, that's something that came out, I know, in family carers research during COVID, that increased, that sense of loneliness and isolation and exclusion as well. So it's great that you're reaching that, or achieving those kind of aims and goals as well. So that was great, Jenny. Thanks for the breakdown of the program. I think we're all very aware, and I presume, or I don't presume, I know that all those details are on the Family Carers website. There is a specific section on the Working Care Out program. If anybody is interested or wants to follow up, on all the contact details are there. And we'll share it in the link for the podcast. So
yes, there's a chat link on the website that people can just put in their information and submit the form, and it comes directly into myself. Alternatively, you can apply through any of the centres nationwide, and they'll refer you in as well. So there's a couple of options there.
That's excellent. Yeah, it's good access, and it probably speaks to what we were talking about a few minutes ago about the access to technology. And so, like, if you have that face-to-face access at the community level, it's great to know you can get in that respect as well.
Yes.
So you might have a chat with yourself now, Tracey. I know you're sitting there waiting for us to talk to as well. So I know Jenny outlined the program, the Working Care Out program there. So maybe before we talk about your experience with that, you might just tell us a little bit about yourself, and if you don't mind sharing about your caring role, maybe.
No, my name is Tracey Pearson. I'm 52 years of age. I looked after my mother for a number of years, but the last couple of years she got really bad. So I wouldn't have done anything else. Only look after her. And with the care, as you were talking about COVID, going back, the isolation, it was very, very hard being a carer, really hard with resources and everything. I reached out to the Carers Association and asked for help, and I've been involved with them for about 2 years.
Okay.
They gave me a bit of respite. And any questions that I had, I could get onto them. But Mum got really bad in the last couple of years, and I had to look after her, and it was quite hard. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that with us there, Tracey. And it was great to hear that you were able to reach out to Family Carers Ireland and get that support and to recognise that need. And you mentioned you needed to look after your mother as well. Like, that was important to you as well.
Yeah. I mean, I've been always with my mum, and part of being a carer, you lose your identity, because you'll be known as the girl. That's the girl that looks after her mum.
Yeah.
You become that person. Even when you go shopping, people will always say, how's your mum?
Yeah, it defines you, I think. Yeah, it can't.
Yeah,
I would have my own experience of looking after my father as a
yeah,
family carer as well. So yeah, it does
yeah.
tend to define you to a certain extent. So it's great to have that outreach as well to Family Carers Ireland.
And the only thing I would have loved if I'd done it earlier. If
Yes,
I'd have contacted them early, because I can only speak from personal experience, because she was my mum. It's very hard to ask somebody, can you help me with my mum? So I found that a bit hard
it's a
to do.
very common sentiment among family carers is that it's a sense of duty, and why it's why should I need help, or but it's great when people do reach out, and the support is there, and Family Carers Ireland are very good at supporting family carers. So I think that's great, and it's a great endorsement for Family Carers Ireland. So you got involved in the Working Care Out program, and Jenny, so just wonder, could you tell us how you got involved, I suppose, and how you found the experience, and what the experience was like?
I loved the experience. I have to say, I really enjoyed it. After Mum passed away in June, I had to start a new life for myself, start all over again. I hadn't a clue where to go, what to do, who to talk to. You're going along and you're trying to sort out your home, or finances, everything. And then what do I do now? How do I financially support myself as well? Because you're down Mum's payment in the home. So I have to get to work. I out of work so long, what do I do? Where do I go? So I rang the Carers Association office, and the lovely Valerie answered the phone and said, we'll get you in touch with this group and talk to them, and they will help you get back on the road to work. Couldn't believe this. I was delighted. I was like little Duracell bunny, ringing off phone, who can help me? I need to get back to work. And we went into, I never done Zoom call, I never done anything like that. So we started off with a group meeting, and I met the lovely Jenny and Ananda and other carers like myself. I was blown away by having conversations with people that were just like me. I've never done that, because she's my mum. She's my mum. That's just the way life is. But you can talk to people and they understand and they listen. Sometimes people don't hear what you're trying to say, but they listened. And I love this group of people. And because I had no confidence in going up to people and saying, can I have a job? I just thought I could go into a place and say, can I work here, please? I thought I could do that. Because I went over to Spain for a week to my friend, and I walked into the airport and everybody was in good form. And I thought, I want to work here. And I just thought I'd get a job. I just go in and say, can I work here? Because I like it here, everybody's happy. It doesn't work like that.
No.
But in my head, I thought, should they look at me? So anyway, I done the course, and each week they would go through different kind of modules and how to do my CV. I left school when I was 16, and I done factory work, and I took 10 years off to look after my parents.
Okay.
So I spoke to Ananda on a one-to-one, and maybe education was the way to go back. So I met with the ETB up in Hollyhill to see, is that an option? Maybe I need to go back and do my leaving cert.
Okay.
So the journey kind of started there. They follow up on everything that I'd done. I went into the exchange to go on job seekers allowance because I needed to get my payment sorted. The carers were stopping. What do you want to do? Is they keep asking you, what do you want to do? And because you were a carer, they automatically presume that's the role for you.
Okay.
That's what you should do when you're thinking, why would you get that from, that was my mum.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, Tracy, but that's very interesting that you would feel that that's the they were pigeonholing you into that type of role because you had the caring experience. And I mean, like being a family carer, you become someone that can kind of multitask, and time management is very, you're very on, when tasks have to be done, you get them done. And so I think you have a lot more skills than, been directed towards a purely caring role. So very interested to you saying that, but and the fact that you were able to say, well, no, that's not what I want to do. I want to do something like work in an airport or.
Because people were happy.
Yes.
And you see that, and that's where you start at. I knocked at every door for help, where to go. I went to a TD, just to give you an example of, I needed a bit of help to get back, and I went to get glasses, and my stamps wouldn't cover because I wasn't paying stamp, and it was all new to me. And I'm asking this man for help, and he's talking about his auntie that needs home help. And that's where you're inside in this room asking people for help, and that's what they come back with. Yeah. I found the whole process so incredibly frustrating. And then to go into a care program like this with the Carers Associate that's actually listening to me.
Yeah.
I don't want the caring role. I love helping people. Absolutely. That's my nature. I wouldn't have gave up my whole life for that length of time if I wasn't a caring person. So I just needed help on where to go and how to start. And this program helped me hugely. The confidence it gave me to just talk to people and express that I want to go back to work. So what do you want to do? I don't know what I want to do. That's what I'm trying to explore. So I go out and I do volunteer work in a shop to get sales behind me. I've never done clothes shops. This lovely lady gave me a chance to work out there and voluntary. I've done everything. And now, thank God, I think I'm on the right path there. And I couldn't have done it without this program because they made me see what I wanted to do. They didn't see me as the carer. They saw me as somebody that was trying to get back on the road to work.
And it's great to hear you talk so positively about the program and how it's given you confidence and and giving you you obviously you were saying you're getting frustrated that you lack direction as to where you go now. Where do I go now? And
where do I go?
So where are you now? If you don't mind me asking, like what stage of the program are you at, or where are you in your looking for employment? How is that going? Or
well, I'm all excited now.
Okay.
Because I went into the exchange to meet up with a lady in there called Kathy, and she goes through what would be the best option for work.
Yes.
And because I'm still grieving, and because I've just lost Mum in June, the lady suggested that maybe I do a C scheme, and that would involve 19 and a half hours a week. And I could also do a course on what I wanted to do in the future. And I could pick up 1 day a week then working somewhere else.
Okay.
So this is perfect for me. So they suggested that I go for an interview for St. Vincent de Paul. And what I'll be doing is like a friendly call.
Oh, yes.
So
yeah.
That's how I'm going to start. Get back into the work scheme this way and then work my way up then. Because I know I'll be good at this with people. I love helping people. So I'm all excited. And I do my handling course now tomorrow. I'm all excited. I really am. Because I want to work. I really want to work.
And Tracey, you said it's a CE scheme. Is that the community employment scheme? Yeah, just for the listeners so they understand that. No, I mean it's very obvious. You're all excited about what the future holds, and Yeah. So I know you've kind of you've maybe touched a little bit on been pigeonholed as someone that maybe might to go down a caring role because of your experience that way. But like any other experiences you had, like what do you feel are good, are good facilitators for getting people like yourself that have had a caring role and maybe want to go back into education or want to go back into employment? How can they be best helped in practical terms, or how can people, how do you
Um,
feel people will be helped to have
if
the confidence to do this?
are you speaking if I was still a carer, if my mum was still here?
Yeah, I know you, as I say, you've been through the Working Care Out project and our program, and I'm just wondering if you were trying to advise people that maybe are at the start of the journey, maybe at the start of where their caring role has finished, or they're in a position that they may be contemplating going back into employment or going back into education. What bits of advice would you give them, or how would you advise them to start that process?
Well, I would definitely start with Carers Association.
Okay.
I would definitely talk to people. I would talk to the lovely Nanda and Jenny. They're just great. I just can't say enough. Without them, I wouldn't have been handed in a CV. I didn't even know where to start with my CV. They helped me tremendously. The confidence building. They take time out of their day to ring me and check up, and you don't feel alone. Don't feel alone. I'm so excited. I can't tell you how happy I am to be just going out to work, to meet people and talk, because being a carer, you're isolated.
Yeah.
You're just, it's such a hard job. But don't get me wrong, if I had my mum back, I would do nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing else. But it's just when that job finishes, where do you go?
Yeah.
Who's there to help you? It's one of the hardest journeys any woman faces when they're gone, because this is your time now. And then there's a bit of the huge loss, huge loneliness. I have to get to work because I'm running a house, I have bills to pay. I need to work for my sanity of all this. And the other side of the coin is I'm also grieving my best friend.
Yeah.
And you can't go into an employer and expect the employer to get you, understand you. You're grieving. It doesn't matter to him. So with this care program, they go step by step. They build up your confidence. I'm doing counselling at the moment with a lovely lady called Anne, which is part of the care plan as well.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic, because I tell her everything. It's in a safe environment. God only knows what I come up with. But I find it really good. And all this is helping me. And I know if people pick up the phone, there's a lot of help there. You just need to ask.
I love that, Tracy. There's a lot of help there. You just need to ask. It's a great advice, and you can see, that you're very, your confidence levels are very, very high, are improving, as you say, and you're a great advocate for the program, to say. Just one thing you spoke about earlier on as well was the connecting with other people that have had kind of a similar experience.
Yes.
How did that work? Or are you still in contact with a group like that, or is
No,
just maybe talk about that a little bit?
That was in the care program. It was the breakthrough rooms in the Zoom
Okay.
calls. We'd have a little time to speak to each other, and I found that fantastic. I just love talking to people anyway. I do, but I found it really helpful, because unless you care for somebody that much, it is very hard for other people to get you.
Yeah, it is. It's great to have a shared experience with someone. I mean, everyone's caring journey is different, and it's very individual. And but there is, we can kind of talk to each other, and as you say, get it. You get you don't have to explain everything about being a carer. I don't know, Jenny, do you want to come in there and maybe add something? I know you've been working with Tracey.
Yeah, no problem at all. Sure, Tracey, was a pleasure to work with, and delighted that she got on so well and enjoyed the programme.
So that's it was great to chat today to Jenny and Tracey, and thank you both for joining us today on CAREWELL Conversations, and for sharing your experience, especially Tracey. It's great to hear someone so enthusiastic and excited about the Working Care Out programme and where it's brought you. And if anybody of our listeners to the podcast would like to learn more about the Working Care Out programme, as we mentioned earlier on, all full details are available on the Family Carers Ireland website, or you can get it through your local community support manager if you're involved with Family Carers Ireland already. So I just want to thank you for your contribution, and it was great to meet you both. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We've reached the end of our CAREWELL conversation for this episode. I'd like to thank you for listening. If you'd like to hear more from us, please subscribe to CAREWELL Conversations on your podcast platform of choice, or alternatively, you will find us at carewellproject.com or across our various social media channels, which are linked in our podcast feed. We'd also like to hear from you, our listeners. Please feel free to leave any comments, feedback, or suggestions you may have on any of our social media feeds, or you can contact us directly at carewell@ucd.ie. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to you joining us on future CAREWELL Conversations.